I'm going to walk you through the pillow block subassembly to show you how to use fasteners like screws and bolts, and the smart move function in order to lock in the constraints with those. Also reiterate how to use the reuse pattern feature in this emulation. So first we're going to start by entering into a brand new assembly design, and then we'll start by inserting our first component. Click on product one so that we can select where to place it. And since my file is open already, I'm just going to load it from the window. And so this is going to be our first piece. So let's go ahead and fix it and then insert our second component. From here, I'm going to add constraints. Oops, looks like it didn't load. Load it from the file instead. All right, now that it's there, we can go ahead and add our constraints. So I'll start with a coincident constraint between the axes of those two curved surfaces, the cylindrical surfaces. And then using the manipulate feature, or the manipulate tool, we can move it to see which constraints are still needed. So this should be able to move in respect to, there we go, one linear direction as well as one rotational direction. So here I'm going to use that edge and the bottom surface and make them coincident to lock in the orientation. And then finally do a coincident constraint to put those two surfaces in alignment. So that gets those two pieces completely constrained together. The next thing I need to do is insert our fastener. So with this, we're going to use Smart Move in order to add the constraints. Now you have to select the part from the feature tree in order for it to show up in the Smart Move feature. And then you can see the axes actually show up. Otherwise, I have a hard time getting the axis to select manually. So what I do is I use the Smart Move feature to get around that. So again, what you do is select the part, and you want to make sure that you're making it coincident to the hole that's the starting point of your reuse pattern. So here you can see the pattern. The three that are orange are the ones that are reused. The one that was blank is the one that we want to start with. So again, grab that axis and Smart Move, and then the axis of the hole that we want to start in. So that's going to place the coincident constraint, and then we're going to follow it up with a surface contact constraint to set the bottom side of the fastener and connect it to the top surface of our pillow. And that will fully constrain with respect to those two directions. It's still going to be able to rotate, but that's not going to matter because your screw, the motion of the rotation is pretty normal for the screw. So let's go ahead and use the reuse pattern. We'll select the pattern from our original piece there, select the component of the fastener, and then finish that up. And that gives us our subassembly. We use this in a future part with our linear bearing assembly. So make sure you save your subassembly, and you want to be in the same folder that you have your parts in there so that we can make sure the links are all working between those different components.